Hello, Max. How are you? Good morning.
Hi, good morning, Carolina. I'm well as you can be in the current situation, I guess.
Yes,
I'm in Berlin currently, although I actually live in London, but I
yes.
feel it's a little safer here at the
Ah,
moment.
you feel? Yes, yes,
Yes.
of
And how are you
course.
doing?
Well, we are all trying to survive this new challenge. This
Yes.
new second lockdown here for Switzerland, but very very soft in a way.
Hmm.
But again, is going very. I can see the world in the art world is not stopping. So that's
No,
the most
absolutely
important.
not. It's more active than ever, I would say, but okay.
But Max, we met last time. You kindly invited me to your wonderful new premises in London.
Yes,
How is it
exactly.
going? Could you tell the viewers what you're doing? And
Yes, of course. I mean, maybe a short introduction about me and the gallery would make sense, I think.
of course, they know
So,
you already, but you're very famous, a celebrity.
oh wow, thank you. I don't agree, but okay. No, I work for Listen Gallery in London.
Yes,
Uh, Listen Gallery is existing since over 50 years already. We represent over 60 artists and have locations in London, New York, and in Shanghai. And yeah, last time we met when we opened, I think was it in October or November?
freeze. It was during the
Yeah,
freeze.
it was during the
Yes,
freeze, exactly. I mean,
yes,
it wasn't a
yes.
real
Let's say
freeze, but at least we had some good gallery shows. And yes, we opened a location in Mayfair in London, in the center, in the heart of London, at Cork Street, close to other galleries.
wonderful,
I
wonderful
had
space.
oh, thank you. I had a lovely group presentation there, and we toured it together with your son, which was
Yeah.
quite fun. And actually, I was really surprised because your son was able to interpret and understand the artwork so well. So that was
Oh,
that was
you're very
really
kind.
interesting.
He's very aware of, let's say, maybe because of me pushing him. No, I'm joking. I'm not a pushing man. No, I'm joking. But no, it was a beautiful, beautiful show. I think it's so. It was so inspiring how you see you put all the different pieces, but in a very uh, in a wonderful setting. How you I think it's the scenografia. The scenography was
Yes, yes.
wonderful.
Oh wow, thank you. Well, and right now, unfortunately, all of our galleries in London had to close
Hmm.
because there's a lockdown in London. We of
Of
course
course.
follow the government guidelines strictly. Actually, nobody is really allowed to go to the galleries. Only
Hmm.
sometimes our technicians go in to hang an artwork or do photography or so, but
Mm.
otherwise everybody's working from home. And of course, it's also kind of a challenge because we had a program scheduled for
Of
January,
course.
February, March, and so on. And we have no idea how long this lockdown will last. And it's always unfortunate to cancel shows. So we were asking ourselves the question, should we open shows and just present them online and you can see them from the window outside, or should we just do nothing? And I think it's important to still keep the program going, to still support the artists, and also show our collectors, curators, and all the people who follow us
Yes.
what we're doing. So we actually installed a new show in Mayfair by Jonathan Monk, and I also organized the exhibition together with him. He's
Ah.
also living here in Berlin, which is
Ah.
quite helpful. So
Wonderful.
I was able to see
Yes.
the works in his studio, and then we shipped them over to London, which was already kind of a challenge because it was during Brexit period.
Oh.
there was it wasn't going as smoothly as normally because it took longer to transport the works into the UK. And then
Yes.
we installed the show with people who did COVID tests before, and now the show is actually open, but not
Yes.
open to the public. But you can see them all from outside
You
from
can
the
see it from
window.
outside.
We
Yes.
send out information and images to all the people who follow us, and well, we of course hope that at some time, maybe in March, that people will actually be allowed to physically visit the show and enter the gallery again. but we don't know that yet for sure.
Do you, Max, do you do the shows together with all your other, the other locations together, or it's something that you organize only for London in this, because you have two locations in London,
Three, actually.
three, sorry.
Yes.
So are they all connected, or you do
It depends. It depends. So mostly each of the locations is an independent gallery or building in a sense. So that sometimes we have, because we have the three locations in London and the two in New York and one in Shanghai, we have 6 different shows on in 6 different galleries, which is quite a lot. Sometimes we try to interact between the galleries. So we show the same artists in the 2 London spaces, or the same artists in 2 New York spaces, or try to show something in London which fits together with the program in New York. So of course, we also have a curatorial team, and they think a lot about which artists to show when and if it makes sense together. And yeah, so they interact, but I would say each gallery is kind of independent.
Yes, but and how is it in Shanghai? Is he open?
Shanghai is perfect word.
You see,
they had an art fair actually there in November.
We should all move to that side of the world.
But they won't let us in, at least not with. I think we have to quarantine for 3 weeks now.
I know.
So no, they actually had an art fair in November already, and was just happening as normal, without masks or anything, because there's no COVID in Shanghai. And that went quite well. I mean, you could really see that people who haven't seen art in half a year in the flesh are really interested again to see art and also to collect art. And we have a normal program going on in Shanghai, but there is Chinese New Year's Eve now in beginning of February. So they kind of all go on vacation now. They will have basically what was our Christmas break here in Europe. They will have it now in the beginning of February. So it's relatively quiet there.
Yes, okay, but is at least no, I could feel from other galleries that they have another, it's incredible the situation, how things have changed and have been moved from one place to the other, and it seems wherever it started last year, now they're open, so that gives us hope that we can.
Yes, but it also kind of shows us that we handled the situation in the wrong way, because they have just been more strict, but now they are back to nearly normal life, and here we are not. So here it's worse than ever, actually.
Yes, but in Germany it is a bit better, or you've been a long time? Yeah.
I mean, we are in lockdown since beginning of November now, and we will probably be until March. But I think suddenly we are getting the situation under control, hopefully at least. The numbers are going down, but who knows? I also stopped following it every day because I think it just drives you crazy.
You're right. I think it's something that better not to see and to continue. But you see, it's a new reality. The other day I was in Milano for work, and just to cross the border, it seemed something incredible. It was really, I could not believe it. It's really becoming things that you do simply every week.
Yes.
It's
it's crazy. It was really... Especially also, for example, I had the struggle if people want to see an artwork in flesh, so want to stand in front of it and view the work, and the work is not in their country. It's really difficult right now to organize a viewing, because I had, for example, some lovely collectors who wanted to see a painting by one of our artists, and the painting was in Germany, but they were not allowed to travel to Germany, and I was not allowed to travel to Belgium, where they are based. And simply since months we're trying to see this painting, but it's just not possible. And sometimes it's not enough to just see it online or through FaceTime or images. Sometimes the painting has a different appearance and aura and in the flesh.
Of course. This is something quite interesting, because whatever we are, let's say we are living in I adore this word, the fee digital moment, which will be more and more real. But at the end of the day, a painting you have to live, you have to experience it. Because a friend of mine
Yes, of course.
told me the other day, you could just smell, you need to even smell it, and
Yes,
just,
absolutely.
and the frame, you need to whatever, now this was more for an old master paintings, but
Yeah,
there is this sensation that you want to live this piece of art work,
I fully agree.
and I think whatever we do, it's of course we're doing the best that we could
Absolutely,
do.
yeah.
But it's as you said, it's sometimes this traveling restriction are a bit
It's tricky.
difficult.
Yes, yes,
Yes,
absolutely. And
yes,
what
but
were you doing in Milan?
well, I was seeing a new something very very interesting, a new museum,
Hmm.
private museum that
Wow.
hopefully will be open in March. Hopefully, as we say,
Yeah.
because we and it's a beautiful space. You have to see it. Very as soon as we manage, I will invite you
Oh,
to come and see,
please.
because they are going to do something, a very interesting project of a museum, but exhibitions, and again, something that in Italy doesn't have yet, something very to leave art, but from all master paintings that sometimes you don't really realize the value, how important are
Hmm. Hmm.
some people just go to a museum and they don't even understand that they are in front of something
Hmm.
uh, breathtaking, and also their value. It's quite interesting, but they take it
Yes.
for granted sometimes.
Yeah.
So it's a very nice project. So
So
I
and
was
you were
looking.
already allowed to visit the museum right now.
No, I was just seeing the project,
Okay.
because
Okay.
there is nothing yet, of
Okay.
course. They are open. There is orange zone. So in Italy, they I don't know if in Germany it's the same. They do different layers of colors.
Yes, we do that here as well.
Ah,
Yeah.
so it seems it's orange, so which is in between.
Hmm.
So people are allowed to view or by appointments again.
Okay. Yeah.
So it's a bit, but they were earlier than us. I think it's the same as you in Germany. So they had a bad pre-Christmas
Yes, exactly.
lockdown.
Yeah.
So now slowly, hopefully, as I said, everything it's every day, every week there is a new news. So this is what I was doing, and so hopefully, as I said, we will have a more. I think it's this urge to visit and to see the art world. But do you have any could you give us a preview of a next show, the one actual show? You have it until March, you say, but you don't know if you're going to keep it or.
Yes. And then we are opening a new show in New York in February by Peter Joseph, who is an incredible abstract painter. And
Yes.
he unfortunately passed away last year. But it was incredible because he was one of the very first artists Listen ever did an exhibition with in the 1960s. And it's fantastic that he stayed with the gallery for over 50 years. And we did, I don't know how many shows with him. And
Wonderful.
we will open a solo show of his in New York with abstract paintings from his whole career, which will be beautiful.
Mm.
But again, quite sad that I can't go there to see it. But I know many of
But
his work, so I'm curious.
that's so wonderful. But would you be able to bring them to London maybe afterwards? So we hopefully will.
At some point, yeah, we'll see. We'll see.
Okay. And any Max, one thing that I would like to know, and maybe the viewers to know, what inspired, because you're very young. So
Yes.
how
Am
did you
I?
start? Yes. How how did you? What inspired you to start this wonderful art career? To be there?
Wow. I mean, in the beginning, so in the very early days when I was a small child, my grandfather was a painter, and
Oh,
I was very keen and painted all the time as a child. And of course, I had access to all his oil colors, etc. It was always very interesting. And then I kind of, when I was a teenager, I kind of lost it a bit. I think because it was not cool anymore and so on. But then I saw paintings by American abstract expressionists like Jackson Pollock or Mark Rothko. And I was around 16 or so then, I think. And I got so inspired by these works, although I didn't really understand them, because these artists were new to me. I didn't have a lot of knowledge about them, but I couldn't stop thinking about them after seeing the works. And I wondered, why is that? And also, why is this so valuable? And why is it hanging in the MoMA in New York? Because it seems so easy. So I started buying books back then. There was not so much internet access yet. I started buying books and got more and more into art. And then I discovered contemporary art as well, like artists like Gerhard Richter or Sean Scully, which hugely inspired me. And well, then I finished school and I thought, okay, what do I want to do? And I want to do something with art. So I studied art history and business in Vienna. And from then on, it was always clear to me that I want to work in the art world and also sell art, because I think the conversations and the friendships you develop with all these wonderful art collectors, it's such an inspiring relationships that you facilitate through all these years. And it's actually amazing also to see that the people you met in the very early days when you just started, they're still your friends after 10 years working in the art world. And it gets more and more lovely people every day, and it's just fantastic. But also, I think what is very interesting in our art world is actually meeting the artists and seeing artist studios, understanding the process of the creativity, understanding how they create paintings or sculptures or films. And it's I think we are very privileged to work in this creative world, actually.
Bello. No, it's something beautiful that you are saying. I think it's this is beautiful point about friendship. You're right. You are friends that you meet, and of course they've been always in the art world, and it's this type of course, when you are passionate about the subject, I think whatever you do, but you're completely right that you meet them again, and then they are still your friends. That's really beautiful point. Yes. And also, as you said, we are privileged to, and I think you must see so many incredible artists and talented artists. I think any artist, it's important because whoever, when you want to express yourself, it's always something. First of all, I think brave, because you have the courage to to show to yourself and to the world what you are able to. And sometimes but have do you still paint? That's
no,
something
not at
interesting.
all. Not at all.
You should. We want to see something.
No, please, no. I mean, I wouldn't say I was not talented at all, but as soon as you know more about art and get to see all these master painters and all these wonderful contemporary artists, I just felt, okay, I rather focus on working in the art world than producing art myself, because the other people are just better than me, and it's totally fine that way.
I don't think so. Maybe, we will find a new
I
in the
can
next
guarantee you it won't happen.
we'll see. But no, it would be very interesting to see them. As you say, I also start drawing, and now I prefer to write instead of.
Oh, really? Yeah, okay. So we're on the same page.
Yes, I agree with you. But still, it's interesting to see some of your works. Why not one day?
Maybe in private.
Okay. Oh, but no, it's interesting, Max. But do you? And there is something that you miss most of, as I said, more than to be physically in your own gallery. Do you miss anything else from last year, from Back to the Past?
Oh yes, I think not many people, not all people would agree with me, but I really miss art fairs, to be honest. I think these, taking Art Basel or TEFA, for example, these, I don't know, 5-6 days, seeing all the friends we said already, but also seeing so much artwork, so much beautiful art, and this whole power and drive of an art fair, and have these dinners with wonderful clients and friends, and just working and seeing art for 5 days in a row and doing nothing else. I love it. I mean, other people say they're tired of it, but I'm still very passionate about art fairs, and I really miss them. And of course, yeah, I mean, in general, I have to admit, I haven't seen an artwork in a gallery or in a museum now since November, because there was simply no opportunities to visit any museums or galleries. And I mean, I have been to some private collectors here in Berlin, which was a very good experience, because we talked about their art and stood in front of them, the paintings, and it was great. But basically, I miss seeing the people, I miss the art fairs, I miss the events, I miss the artworks, of course, the most, and also meeting artists, etc. So there's a lot to miss, I think. What about
Yes.
you?
Yes, no, I think you are completely, again, I agree with you, because it's a wonderful moment that you meet throughout the world, and this is how it all started with my Zooms, because a friend of mine invited me to Bolivia, and he said, everything is free here, just come and see me, and I will show you all this beautiful music. And I was like, well, almost, and then I thought, okay, let's do it a bit in a safer way.
Yes.
And this is how it all started. But I was really I couldn't wait. I actually, I can't wait to see Bolivia. But I think in a safer and moment, because there are things that you have to prioritize, your,
No, of course.
and it's important to, at the moment, to show how things are, you prioritize. I think it's a moment of reflection, this confinements that we have, and also to think what is safer for your own, for your family, and for
No, I fully
at
agree.
the end. But as I said, I can't wait. So as I told you, when I went to Milano, it was like something wonderful, something back to the past that I would do quite often during the week, because I'm not too far. And to see people, as you say, it's something, again, the Zoom is beautiful, but there is not
Yes, of course.
this connection, when you see people normal. So
But
it's
I still think your Zooms are quite a good idea, and it's refreshing to see artists, gallerists, etc., curators, at least online.
no, yes, you're right. But again, there are many people doing the same, doing the same thing. Another friend of mine told me, I think it could be the same, but he's in Rome, and he said the only way I can go and see a Caravaggio, and I am the only one in the church.
Oh, that's
So
great.
we never thought about that, because it's art in our cities is mostly in this, old masters in this
Yes, of course. I
churches.
know.
And this is a good way also to be next to a painting, which
That's
unfortunately
true.
here it's a bit more difficult. But no, but the last question, I know you're very busy.
All good.
What do you see? What do you see? Because it's so nice to talk to you. Actually, it's been a long time. What do you see the art market going? What do you see? What is going to happen, if you think? Do you have any
I mean, first of all, I think
opinions?
I was, because I can still remember last year in March, when everything started to escalate and the whole crisis hit Europe. Nobody knew what to expect, and we had no idea. Okay, will galleries survive this? Will artists survive this? Will the art market be stable? And I was positively surprised last year that I think the art market did very well. And many galleries did well in adapting to the situations, presenting works more online, creating videos, online exhibitions, etc. And we were always so dependent on art fairs. And it was interesting to see the artwork without art fairs. I think in the future, there might be less art fairs because I mean, no doubt that art fairs like Frieze or Art Basel or TEFAB, they will stay because they're just the main fairs and they're very important. But I think it will be more difficult for smaller events because just, I think in general, not only in the art world, people will travel less. And because it gave us time to think about how we treat the world and also the whole environment. And I think people will travel less. And it will be a mixture of what we are experiencing now and what the old world was. So it will be a mixture of online presentations, but then of course also art fairs and gallery exhibitions, because in the end, as we already said, it's irreplaceable to see an artwork in real. And that's what drives us and makes us passionate about art. So you can't just change the art market to an online market. It will never happen, fortunately.
Yes, no, definitely. I think, also the auction houses, I think all of these beautiful, these events, they will maybe be more local.
Yeah, exactly.
And more, but I hope they will stay because, as you said, this is something melancholic. I think that it's we all have around, these moments of seeing friends mostly. But thank you, Max. It's always, as I said, a pleasure. It was a long time I haven't seen you. Last time it was full of people, and you took us around your wonderful gallery, and I can't wait to go back. So hopefully in March, shall we say?
Yes, let's say in March.
Just to keep a date. And
yeah, thank you for inviting me. It was a pleasure. Also to see you
you
again and talk again. I will, of course, also follow your other art talks and have a look at them for the upcoming ones.
Yes, and maybe hear you tomorrow on the audio one.
Yes, exactly. Thank you, Carolina. Have
Ciao,
a great day.
bye. Have a
Ciao,
lovely
bye-bye.
day. Ciao. Thank you.